What's up, my paranormal soldiers? It's your girl, Angelina. And today, we're going to go back to the start of the Conjuring House saga. Before the lawsuits, before the drama, before the absolute shit show that it has became. We got to look back at how it all began. So, I want to take you back to this video I'm about to show you in a few seconds or minutes. This was the big kumbaya moment when the Conjuring House was sold to Jacqueline Nuñez, and looking back at it now, it's fucking wild. First off, you've got Andrea Perrin, the legend herself, sitting there telling the world that Jacqueline is meant to own this house. She's looking dead at the camera, talking about destiny, saying the house chose Jacqueline. Then you have the previous owners, Jen and Cory Hinden. They were literally handing over the keys to the kingdom. But it wasn't just the keys. They are also the ones who introduced Cody and Satori to Jacqueline. They vouched for Cody and Satori. They basically said, here is the house and here are the kids who are going to help you run it. You even had Ken DaCosta in the mix, giving his blessing. Everyone is nodding, everyone is smiling. It's a total fucking love fest. And Jacqueline, she's eating it up. She's gushing over everyone. She's calling the Heinzens upstanding people, talking about integrity and acting like she just joined the best fucking family on earth. She had nothing but nice things to say about everybody.
Welcome to a world awakening. No, I don't think I've ever been more excited to bring someone into the fold the way I am tonight. We have a very, very special guest. She is the new mistress of the farmhouse, mistress of the house, the next owner, the new owner. I told her the day that I met her that I knew this was meant to be. Uh, and I knew that she would, in so doing, purchasing the farm, would actually be starting a whole new chapter in her life and living into her own destiny. I absolutely believe this. And the reason that I do is because I've had the privilege and the pleasure of getting to know her over the last few months. And we chat frequently, and we have developed a true kindred spirit vibe that I treasure. I would like to welcome Ms. Jacqueline Nuñez to A World Awakening. Hi.
Hi there. Hi, Andrea. Thank you so much for having me on your show. It's quite a privilege. It's quite a privilege to be here, and it is certainly a privilege that I now get the honor of being in your life. So I
So
really
sweet. See, if you keep talking like that, you're going to be stuck with me forever.
No, God! No, God, please, no! No! No!
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you for inviting us to come on. Jacqueline, congratulations. It was a pleasure meeting you a few weeks back. And
thank you.
I think the house is such a magical place. But without that house, we've made, I guess you'd call it a family. We met people that we would have never met if it wasn't for the farm. And you're going to soon find that out, that relationships are going to be made there that would have never taken place anywhere else. So that place is just magical.
Jacqueline, thank you so much for everything, for having the kind heart you do. I will admit that in the beginning, I was worried. Okay, this house is going to new hands, because I was used to, I am so appreciative of the Heinzens and what they have done for the house. And so when they told us that somebody new is coming, and I was a little worried. And when we had met you, I just felt your energy, and it was so, like, you had such positive intentions. And it was great to see that, and to see somebody with that. And so I knew that Jen and Cory had picked a really good person for this house right away. You were awesome to hang around, and you were awesome to have dinner with, because that's the first day we met. It was a great experience. Cody said it just holds a lot of energy and a lot of memories. Truthfully, Cody and I, when we first started, with our form of communication and kind of coming out to the public about what we do. That house was really the first place where we felt like it was a safe haven for us to do things like that.
Everything that guy just says bullshit. Thank you.
And the farmhouse does, some people give it such a more negative rap than what we have found with it. And this house has brought us together and has given us so many positive memories and so many things that, you know, we can't even begin to explain. So I'm just happy that a positive person has this house.
Thank you.
Mr. DaCosta, I will let him, speak his piece about you falling like a perfect puzzle piece into this epic saga.
Personally, I couldn't be more pleased that this house found you, or vice versa, depending on how you look at that.
Mm-hmm.
But this is part of the lineage now, and for all intents and purposes, you are the gatekeeper in this new era, and leaving it. And I hope you have many, many years of success and, above all, happiness there, because I think it's always been that kind of location that brings people. There's a curiosity to it, but there's also a joy in being there as well, especially when you're surrounded by like-minded people with the right intention. So I couldn't be happier from my own personal perspective. I just wish you all the best in the world. And like all of those who've come before you, I wish you many years, but, years from now, when that time comes, you leave the place to whomever that's going to be in better shape than you found it. And that's how a lineage continues. So congratulations to you. We're all very happy.
Thank you. I am brand new, even though I'm a very spiritual person and I've always had an interest in the paranormal. I am very new to your community, and I have so much to learn, right? And I'm sure I'm going to make mistakes, and but I really do look forward to, seeking advice and guidance from those of you that have been in this for a long time, and just whether it's just logistics about things, just as an example, right? I do have a lot to learn, so I will be relying upon many of you to kind of help me along, as I kind of figure out the business model, figure out what to do, what types of activities to support, maybe what not to do. So much of this is also what not to do. And so I need to get that balance right of what to do and what not to do.
Jacqueline, we are there for you. We are there through, the good times, bad times, whatever it may be, but we avail ourselves to you. So all you need to do is ask. And
Thank you.
That's the truth. And I know Jen Heinzen is in chat today, and she seconds that herself. They knew right away that
Yes,
you were the one. So
Yes.
it's something, I guess, to be proud of, and I was just so happy to welcome you.
Thank you. And I'm glad that you just brought up Jen and Cory. First, I really appreciate their trust in me to. They had a lot of people to choose from, right? And I thank them profusely for
Jen.
passing off this incredible opportunity and this incredible legacy and history to me. And I want to acknowledge them here because they have done an amazing job in the time that they have owned this and opening it up to the public and really allowing people to come in, because it, as we all know, that wasn't happening. And the business that they have started, that I'll be taking over, they've done a great job. They always like to tease that they're terrible business people, but it is just absolutely not true. I mean, I'm taking over their systems and they have so many great things in place. There's such great bones and structure here that they built for me to build upon. that, I mean, they deserve a lot of credit. They deserve a lot of praise, and I love them both a lot.
So before we get to Jacqueline's inexperience, we have to talk about the man who sold her the house, Cory Heinzen. This whole financial disaster, in my opinion, might have started when Cory bought the house. The reason he was able to buy the house was because he got a VA home loan because he's a veteran. Here's the receipt. But here's the kicker. The VA loan is intended to help veterans buy a home that they must use as their primary residence. But Cory and Jen owned the Conjuring House for roughly 3 years and allegedly only lived there for 3 months total and would only go up on the weekends. It's also said that Cory has stayed there maybe 6 weeks straight with another caretaker named Bill. This was not his primary residence. His residence was in Maine. So what makes this questionable is the fact that there were caretakers living there without Cory, Jen, and their kids at the time. What's the point in having caretakers if you live there? But we know this because their longest serving caretaker, John Huntington, lived in that house for 6 to 8 months while the Heinzmans owned it, fulfilling the resident requirement that allegedly Cory and Jen could not fill. Jen Heinzman herself on video says John Huntington lived there for 9 months by himself. This alleged deception goes even deeper. Roxanne Jaspero, who was partnered with Cory on the project, claims she was screwed over by Cory. And he lied to the seller, Norma Sutcliffe, who lived there for 30 years and sold it to Cory based on his stated intentions for the house. If Cory did fraud the VA, he's facing serious consequences, including potential felony fraud charges and fines. He's a military man, and for me, this raises major questions about his honesty and integrity of the entire foundation for this house's paranormal business under his ownership. But here's the part that blows my mind. Jacqueline admits right here that she didn't know how the paranormal field worked at all. She literally thought there were rules. She thought that if someone falsified evidence or faked a ghost encounter, they could get in actual legal trouble. She honestly believed that people wouldn't lie about ghosts because it was against the law. That inexperience right there, that was the moment we should have known this was going to go off the fucking rails.
All right, and so I have a question. Does the paranormal community, are there any formal training or guidelines put out by like a paranormal society or professional organization for how to train to become an investigator, and any code of ethics? Or is there anything like that? Well, I don't necessarily mean legal, or is there any sort of code of ethics, or what happens to investigators that are known to be fraudulent? Are they ostracized? Are they, like, what happens?
Yeah, it seems that the public kind of handles that to a point when people talk in this field. People really do talk in this field, and once you start to do something that is definitely, everybody starts realizing, okay, this is just for attention, or you're doing this just to try to get something big. The people will talk, and the people will start telling other people around, like, this person has done this, just so you know. And so I guess in a sense that's kind of them paying for what they've done. But to answer your question, I guess there isn't really a rule book or a manual for this. I think if there was and everybody followed this manual, for example, Cody and I wouldn't know that what we do is even a thing if we followed the rules. We had to break what was traditional investigating to figure out what this was. So I think I'm glad there aren't any rules, and honestly, I agree with Ken. There, like Jen said, there's no paranormal 101. But I guess if there are any rules, it's to just don't provoke. Go looking for answers, even if they aren't the answers you really want. If there is a logical answer to it, admit that logical answer.
Shut up!
All right. So after that big fake ass loving we just talked about, things were fine, right? They were fine for a minute. Jacqueline was running the house, her staff was doing their thing until Sam and Colby's Hell Week hit the internet. That series wasn't a ghost hunt. It was the world's introduction to Cody and Satori's infamous knockin method. For anyone who missed this tap-in method by Cody and Satori, the method is where they hold hands and start reciting the alphabet A, B, C, and supposedly the spirits knock on the letter to spell out words. The internet absolutely exploded. I'm telling you, this controversy brought more attention to the fucking house than Andrea Parent's original made up story ever did. And yeah, that's my opinion. She made it up. The backlash was intense. Debunkers came out swinging. And yeah, me included. The controversy grew so big that Jacqueline actually released a statement calling out my team's name and another debunker to try and address the situation. Now, here's the backstory. Before Hell Week, Cody and Satori first shared their method with Eric and Mandy from Rhode Island Paranormal. They were the test audience. And here's the key. While they were demonstrating their knocking method, they were also performing remote viewing tricks to fool people. They completely took advantage of Eric and Mandy. I have the messages from Mandy that prove she felt manipulated by them. Then Mandy said Satori started pushing. She had Mandy contact Exploring with Josh and Zeth Borden to come witness this method. And what happened? Josh and Zeth, bless their hearts, they fell for it hook, line, and fucking sinker. But later, Josh started having some serious second thoughts, and he even put out a video about it. You can see the initial excitement when he first showed up at Eric and Mandy's house. Check this out.
All right, this has to work.
I think so.
All right, explorers, what is going on? I don't know how to make this video, how to even start this, but today we are going to a real Satanist house.
That's it.
So how it all started is that randomly I got an email saying, hey, like, can you come to my house? I want to show you guys that my house is haunted. And I normally I don't really would just randomly just go to someone's house or something like that. But then I knew someone else through the grapevine that also does ghost hunting, and obviously I've been doing ghost hunting, so I've been meeting ghost hunters and things like that, who says this person's actually legit and their house is actually haunted. I'm actually going there as well that same day. I never met this person as well either. Her name is Satori, and she's like, dude, just come, let's go. And this is completely beyond random, but then I found out later that the person who owns the house, this apartment that we're going to, she's a Satanist. Now, I actually was told, Satanist is not what we always think it was. Apparently, the whole satanic cult stuff and satanic rituals and all that doesn't always happen, and people don't always die, and they're not always sacrificing people. Apparently, there's another side to a Satanist that maybe some of us don't know, and they're actually nice. I don't really know, but we're gonna interview this person and we're gonna explore their apartment, and they're gonna do some ghost hunting stuff. I really don't know because they never told me what they're doing.
No, they were.
They're gonna kill us.
I think we're gonna get sacrificed.
Oh my god.
People suspect that because Cody and Satori were friends with Jen and Cory and had access to the empty Conjuring House when they weren't there or were there, that this is where they were able to quietly perfect their knocking method without any eyes on them. If you want to see exactly how they tried to trick people with that remote viewing nonsense, check out these clips where I broke it down.
That anything means anything?
Holy crap. All right.
She's here. Jesus.
All right. That's a new thing. That's the first person that we brought through. That's a person we, kind of know for somebody, right? Through Zoom.
No. What'd she say? It's good again. Really loud.
Seems like it's getting more faint.
I'm gonna send our energy out really, really hard, okay, Cody?
All right. Let's do it.
I'm gonna need you to take all the energy you can to say this last sentence, okay? I love you.
A party pooper.
I'm so sick of pandemic and lockdown and quarantine. These words do not belong in our existence any longer.
No, don't.
Who said that?
You have to.
Who said... Yo, are you recording this?
No.
Who just said They don't.
You didn't say that?
Nope.
No. I thought Andy said that.
I thought you said it.
Right around this time, things took a physical and financial hit. Back in December of 2023, the historic barn on the property caught on fire. Jacqueline spent a lot of money renovating that barn to open a museum. Former employees, including Cody and Satori, claimed they lost thousands of dollars in haunted artifacts and equipment they had stored there. They said Jacqueline promised to reimburse them through insurance, but when they pressed her months later, she turned it around. Jacqueline not only blamed them for the fire, claiming they hired a contractor who improperly disposed of combustible rags, but she publicly stated she should sue them for recklessness. This was all bubbling up around the time we hit April and May of 2024 when the house hit total fucking chaos. 7 people, including Cody and Satori, all resigned at once. The house claimed they were fired. The staff said they quit. Let's look at their side.
So we are live, so I'm not going to wait for a bunch of people to get in here. I know I can't be seen very well on Cody's. And it's weird that we're going live so frequently this week. I'm so sorry if that bothers anybody. But considering the situation, we definitely wanted to go live. So a lot of people here on Instagram have been asking Cody and I about our side as to why we resigned from the Conjuring House. And we just want to make sure that it's said here, documented, that Cody and I, as well as 5 other people, did resign from the Conjuring House. And we had a letter of resignation made in April, and our last day was early May. And we decided we were not going to say anything. We wanted to be, you know, as respectful and on the down low as possible, just wish everybody the best, things like that. But now there has been a situation. The Conjuring House has made a post regarding former staff, and there were some things said in there that were absolutely untrue. For example, we were fired, and there was controversy about fraudulent investigation methods and things like that. That is not the case at all. It's a complete lie. We have the proof with our letter of resignation as to why we really left the house. The business was doing well. We have proof of that as well. So we're going to be correcting some of this. Considering that post was put up, now we feel like it's time to actually talk. We've been left unable to use our voices for like the last 6 months. And there's more to that than what you guys know. You guys just heard that Cody and I went dark. We didn't say anything. We didn't stick up for ourselves. We never went any further. We went and hid. That's what some people know, the public at least. That's not the case. And we are going to set the record straight, and we are going to tell the truth about everything that all of us staff has experienced on Friday at 8 o'clock on my dad's YouTube channel, Jason Hawes. That should be linked in the description of this live.
Yeah, it's youtube.com/Jason Hawes, JASONHAWES. You can subscribe to that channel. Like I said, it's Satori's dad's channel. And all of the 7 staff members that resigned, we're going to try getting most of them on that live stream to kind of give a little bit of a backstory on what's been going on. And it's just unfortunate. I mean, I know some people are trying to figure out what resigned means, so that means we quit. We quit the Conjuring House in April of this year, and our last day was early May, and we were not fired. None of the 7 people that, you know, on that resignation post that we made were fired. And the reason why we didn't say that we quit back in May is because we didn't want any more drama. You know, we didn't want to create drama for us or the house. But after the post that was made today by the Conjuring House on Facebook, that has changed. So now we feel like we need to tell our side of the story.
And it's so hard to be able to say this on a live stream with all of you guys. And I know this is going to be shared, and this is going to be told to people like wildfire, but it really is strange now considering what's happened, us being able to actually talk. There's been, and it may have been presented one way publicly, but there is so much that we have not opened up about, and we've just kept hidden and pent up and trying to be as respectful and not inconvenience anybody with any of this. We've done that as much as we can, but now we're at a point where our voices are back and we're allowed to actually speak. And it's just like, I'm almost emotional, just like how I feel at this point. It's an amazing feeling to finally be able to say, I'm going to be able to tell the real story, the other side of this story. There's so much that you guys don't even know. And I can't wait. I can't wait to be able to tell you guys, look, we're not crazy. We have proof. We want to tell you exactly why everything happened the way it did. What happened the way it happened. And now we can finally tell you that's going to happen. So thank you. So thank you guys so much for supporting us. Thank you for being on this live stream. Sorry if we're coming off very stone cold right now. It's just there's a lot that has happened and we finally have the ability to tell you guys what's happened to us. So thank you so much, and stay tuned for Friday at 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time on Jason Hawes' YouTube channel. That's my father. He knows everything as it's been happening, so he wanted to be the one to provide us this outlet to talk, and I want nothing more. So thank you guys so much. We love you.
They said they quit, and the post claiming they were fired was absolutely untrue. Satori and Cody stated they had been left unable to use their voices and kept things hidden and pent up for months. The staff exodus wasn't the end of the labor drama. Hell no. It got much weirder in July and August of 2024 when another employee, Brian Dangerou, however you say his last name, stepped forward with a lawsuit. Yes, the fuck he did. Dangerou claims he was fired because Jacqueline, acting as a medium, stated that the house's 19th century owner, John Arnold, told her Brian was stealing from the cash box. Brian denied the theft and filed a lawsuit and DLT complaint seeking $9,000 in unpaid wages. He also sued for defamation, claiming he was harassed online and via text messages, including one message that said, "I hope you get arrested, prosecuted, and ruined for the rest of your life." As of today, the public record shows the lawsuit and wage complaint remain unresolved. Meanwhile, the Jason Hawes feud was still in full swing. Jason publicly accused Jacqueline of harassing him and his family. He stated he went to authorities. Now, Jacqueline's alleged approach was different. She reportedly reached out directly to people, but this became a very public battle. But here's the part we need to look at closely. I'm just reminding everyone about Jason's history with the house. For years, Jason has been on record saying, "I don't want the Conjuring House."
Some of these newer claims now that are saying that I'm trying to get you to sign over the Conjuring House, which, let's be honest, I don't want the Conjuring House. Let's just put it right out there. I could have bought it in the first place. I didn't.
Then the house went into foreclosure, and all of a sudden, Jason launched a GoFundMe to save the farm at the request of Andrea Perrin. The bottom line is the whole community watched a man who repeatedly said he didn't want the house suddenly fighting to buy it. It makes you wonder about the motives behind everything that went down. All right, so the house is on fire with drama, right? And we need to talk about the increase in pressure on Jacqueline Nuñez, which started showing up in the most shocking ways. For those who want a quick, digestible summary of the chaos, this news short captures the dramatic pursuit and her defiant reaction at the scene. It's a stark and awful reminder that while we're watching this like a soap opera on YouTube, a real person's life is falling apart in a big way. In late October 2024, Jacqueline was arrested. This wasn't a standard stop. She was charged with DUI of liquor and eluding law enforcement. Police reports stated that after driving erratically, Officers had to draw their firearms to stop her. When they approached, she refused a breathalyzer. And while attempting field sobriety tests, she told the officers, "You're boring me." This all happened while she was applying to renew her entertainment license, which the police chief ultimately marked as not approved. Then, in November 2024, the Department of Labor and Training issued a stop work order because the house had been operating without workers' compensation insurance since May. The good news? Jacqueline quickly secured the required insurance and the DLT lifted the stop work order. But nobody talks about her doing that, right? This shows that while she faced regulatory issues, she ultimately complied with the law, ensuring her staff had the legal protection they needed. You could argue that in this instance, she acted as a good boss by fixing the lapse in the workman's compensation. All right, so the House is surviving the lawsuits, the arrest, and the regulatory issues, but it couldn't survive the mortgage, leading to a foreclosure. But before the final auction, the underlying debt was paid off by a company owned by Elton Castee, meaning Jacqueline still owns the house. The house is no longer in foreclosure, but it's suddenly being prepared for sale to Jason Hawes for $1.3 million, which the lawsuit calls well below its fair market value. This is the alleged sale that triggered the final massive lawsuit by Jacqueline's older sister, Elizabeth. Let's get into the actual legal document a little bit. This is not YouTube drama. This is a formal complaint filed in Superior Court. I want to show you exactly how her sister Elizabeth is attacking the validity of this sale with Jason Hawes and Julie DeMay. First, look at the named parties. The plaintiff is Elizabeth Greenhaw, representing Jacqueline Nuñez's best interest. The defendants are the heavy hitters, Jason Hawes, his associate Julie DeMay, and critically, the closing attorney Jonathan Lynch and his firm Percy Law Group. Naming their attorney is a major move as it alleges they failed their duty by allowing the sale to move forward despite the claims of an invalid power of attorney. The core of the document alleges that when Jacqueline signed the power of attorney over to Julie DeMay, she was legally incompetent and not of sound mind. To prove this, the law details her hospital stays in July and October 2024 at Landmark and Fatima Medical Centers, establishing a clear timeline of severe mental distress when the document was signed. The filing also claims the power of attorney was a part of a larger conspiracy by DeMay and Hawes to acquire the house. Now, let's take a close look at Julie DeMay. Who is she? First, if you look at the filing, you'll see that Jason Hawes is listed with his attorney and the law firm is represented, but as of the filing, Julie DeMay does not have an attorney on record. This is a massive red flag in a high stakes real estate fraud lawsuit. Also, Julie could have a lawyer who just probably didn't file yet, so keep that in mind. Second, we need to talk about who is Julie DeMay. Well, I talked to one of her ex-teammates on Rise Up Paranormal, and she described her as a vulnerable person who is easily taken advantage of. She specifically noted that she is infatuated with Cody, Satori, and Jason Hawes, making her gullible to do anything they ask. This context is vital when considering the power of attorney. Her lack of representation in this document just underscores the gravity of her personal legal exposure in a situation where she is allegedly easily influenced. There are two main reasons for this lack of counsel. The first and the most likely reason is that Julie DeMay's attorney has simply not filed their notice of appearance with the court, and that's a common administrative delay. However, the second reason is more chilling. She may be unrepresented because of the potential conflict of interest. She signed the power of attorney as the agent, so she is personally exposed to claims of breach of fiduciary duty and fraud. The other defendants, Lawyers cannot represent her, and securing private counsel for a case involving serious fraud allegations can be difficult and fucking expensive. And don't forget Julie's stance on debunking, guys. If you don't remember, check this out.
You tell me as a paranormal investigator, I'm going to watch a video of somebody and I'm going to debunk it. That's a friggin' bunch of crap. That's not how you do investigating.
Julie said you cannot debunk something by watching a video. Now, we know that that's just wrong because analyzing video evidence remotely is a cornerstone of debunking in this field. As a result of this lawsuit, a judge put a temporary restraining order on the sale of the house until the next major court date, which is scheduled for the morning of December 15th. So let's be crystal clear here about the potential fallout if the court finds that the power of attorney was either forged or obtained when Jacqueline was legally incompetent. This isn't just YouTube drama. No, we are talking about serious civil and criminal liabilities for anyone bound to knowingly be involved. Anyone, guys, anyone. If the power of attorney is deemed invalid because Jacqueline was incompetent or the document was fraudulently obtained, Julie DeMay, as a named agent, could face a lawsuit for breach of fiduciary duty. Using a known invalid or fraudulent power of attorney to execute a real estate sale constitutes real estate fraud. In many jurisdictions, this can lead to felony charges against the agent and anyone who knowingly participated in the scheme, which could potentially include those involved in the purchase agreement, like Jason Hawes, and the closing attorney. Criminal penalties for fraud and forgery in a real estate transaction of this value can include significant fines and prison time. The sale agreement itself would be immediately void. Sorry if you guys are hearing my cats. They're in heat, and I've been trying to finish up this recording for 2 days, and I just got to finish it up right now. So sorry about them meowing in the background. If Hawes or others are found to have been aware of this alleged incompetence or fraudulent nature of the power of attorney, they could be named in civil lawsuits for conspiring to commit fraud. The bottom line, if the court invalidates the power of attorney, any action taken under it is likely nullified, and the individuals who used it could face serious legal consequences far beyond civil dispute. The judge's decision on the sale shows the court that it is taking the sister's claim of an invalid power of attorney very seriously. So, all right, my paranormal soldiers, we have reached the end of this absolute insane video. I would say journey, but the journey for the Conjuring House is not over. I want to specifically call out the behavior of those who made fun or profited off Jacqueline's serious mental health struggles and her arrest. The lack of humanity is just as damning as any of the fucking alleged ghost fakery or financial drama. Look, I want to be perfectly clear. I'm not taking sides in this war at all. I genuinely have no hate for anyone I have spoken about in this video. My job is to simply lay out the unbelievable facts as they have unfolded publicly. The bottom line is, if the court proves the power of attorney is fraudulent in any way, oh my fucking God, watch out. We are talking about potential felony charges and career-ending suit. The gravity of that legal reality far surpasses any paranormal beef. The famous Conjuring House was once a piece of history, and honestly, it has been completely ruined for me. This whole mess is a clear warning about the dark side of the paranormal business when ego, money, and desperation take over.